I'm Diane Mourglia-Swerdlow, and today I'm going to speak with you a little bit about fluoride. Fluoride has been a controversy for many, many years, and I personally have a vested interest in fluoride because I have information that most people don't have. I am a past dairy farmer. Now, being a dairy farmer, you might want to know, what does that have to do with fluoride? Well, interestingly enough, it has a lot. Because when you dairy, the quality of water that you feed your animals is especially important. I was a dairy farmer in eastern Oregon for many years, and there was an area close to me that had a very high fluorite content. Fluorite is the mineral from which fluoride comes from. The dairy farmers in that area would not have anything to do with dairy farming in any area that had fluoride in its water, because you could not take the fluoride out. And the dairy farmers knew that if you fed fluoride water to your dairy cows, that two things would happen. First of all, they would get bone crippling diseases, their bones would disintegrate, and the animals would die because their knees would no longer support them. And the calves that were born would be born with birth defects and many abnormalities and bone structures that would not support the calves, and the calves would die. This is what the government wants to put in your drinking water. So, interestingly enough again, federal health officials now have come out with a report saying that Americans are getting too much fluoride in their drinking water. Because not only are they getting it in drinking water, it is also in toothpaste, mouthwash, bottled water, soda, and sometimes even supplements that are taken by children. Because of this, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services has announced plans to lower the level of fluoride in drinking water for the first time in 50 years. Now, when fluoride was introduced to the country, the idea of fluoride being put in your water approximately 70 years ago, it was one of the country's fiercest controversies according to the New York Times. The New York Times also reported that opponents called the campaign for fluoridation, quote, the work of communists who wanted to soften the brains of the American people, unquote. Now, this really sounds a little bit absurd. However, until you do your research and you find out that the Nazis first started using fluoride in the prison camp water supplies to help subdue the prisoners and make them easier to handle as early in the 1930s. In New York, the village of Cobleskill outside of Albany stopped adding fluoride to its drinking water in 2007 because the water superintendent became convinced that this particular additive contributed to his knee problems. Interestingly, again, the Environmental Protection Agency released 2 new reviews of research on fluoride this past Friday. One study found, I will quote again, that prolonged high intake of fluoride can increase the risk of brittle bones, fractures, and crippling bone abnormalities. This is what they want you to put in your water. Please do your own personal research. Think twice, 3 times, 4 times, 10 times before you put fluoride into your water. Thank you for joining me. I look forward to speaking with you again. In the meantime, you can find more information like this and other information on my website, expansions.com. Please visit me there daily because I have lots of updates that will inform you and give you things to think about.